What's up, guys? It's Dan from the Headwaters Kayak Shop, and I've got my boy Romel here, and he's got his totally tricked out custom Nucanoe Flint. And I wanted to give you guys the first look at how he's got it rigged up.
All right, guys, so this is my custom Nucanoe Flint. Go over the things that I did that are custom to me, to my Flint. First thing you can notice here is the Bixpy drive. This is the Bixpy battery, and that is connected to the Bixpy motor in the back.
Let's have a quick look at that.
Look at that.
Look at this thing, you guys. So like futuristic and crazy. Romel's telling me this whole thing only weighs, what did you say, like 15 pounds?
Under 15 pounds for the motor and the battery.
That's some next level stuff right here. This is what Greg Blanchards using on his rig too. And Romel's actually the man that helped Greg rig that up.
Yep.
So he was here at the shop tricking that thing out. So if you've seen Greg's viral video, that's the setup. So how's this thing work?
So basically it's a wireless unit. So I have the transmitter here. So there's a wireless transmitter. So other than the cable that connects from the battery to the motor itself, throttle is controlled by this guy here. So, you know, throttle up, throttle down, full stop. It's got 10 speeds. It probably pushes me right around. It's not super fast. I mean, it's not, I mean, look at the size of the motor. You're going to give away some speed with it. It could probably push me about 3.5, which is, for me, plenty fast. And I usually paddle while I'm using the motor at the same time. And I have that hooked up to the Nucanoe steering. This is the steering for the H2 ProPed, and I hooked that up to my Bixpy drive, and it works really well. So
that's clean.
Yep.
I love how you deploy it too. He was just showing me how this thing pops off. So if
right.
he doesn't want to drive, check this out.
So real easy. I got one carabiner clip here for the retract. I undo that guy here, and then the pin comes off of the steering unit with a ball joint and a spring retractor, so that clips off there. I have one pin that runs through, and then that comes off.
That's crazy. So you want to drive, you got to drive. If you don't want it, it comes off that easy.
Right, and this probably weighs, I don't know, I'm guessing like 5 pounds. The bulk of the weight is actually the battery at the most.
That's wild.
What's interesting about this unit is this actually detaches from here, and they sell a handheld battery pack, so you can clip this motor to a handheld battery pack and you can swim with it.
Oh, that'd be insane.
Yeah,
can you imagine how fun that would be? My kids would love that. Heck, who am I kidding? I'd love that.
It'd be fun, right? It'd be a blast. Yeah.
And you got that thing, looks like you got it mounted to a custom track there in the back?
Yeah, so what I wanted to do here is I didn't want to really try to minimize drilling holes in it, in the kayak, and the Nucanoe has the flat transom. So what I did is I got my transom brackets here. They call them the stern savers, transom savers, and I bolted this aluminum track unit to that, and that gave me a mounting spot for the hardware to mount the Bixpy drive. And I used the same type of hardware. This is actually kind of a modified version of the Bixpy kit. The Bixpy kit comes with blue aluminum, and of course I went with carbon because I have it, but
it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool, right? And then that just mounts to the factory slide tracks that come on the Flint. So it's nice and sturdy. I mean, you can see I'm lifting the whole kayak off it. And
so if somebody wanted to find this piece, where would they find like these little hardware pieces?
This stuff is actually pretty cool. A lot of people use it for making a bunch of different things. It's called Tslot, and you can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it in 6-foot lengths, and you cut it down to what you want to use it for.
Nice.
And basically, it runs on the same premise as the slide track. It's basically a Tslot. The hardware basically slips in, and you just put a 1/4-20 bolt through it, and it just gives you infinite amounts of ways that you can mount stuff. So I can mount stuff to the top, the sides, the bottom, and it's kind of universal. I use it for a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just one of those things that, as a tinkerer, it's one of those materials that's, you know, awesome to use.
Yeah, that's super
Very cool.
Speaking of tinkering, this is not your average river stick stakeout pole. Tell me how it works.
So basically, it's based off of, and the design is out there. It's called the river stick, manual micro power pole, if you want to call it that as well. Basically, just uses gravity and a fiberglass pole. This happens to be a Yak Attack pole that I had. And basically just uses gravity to drive the pole down into the ground. So I have that ran to a retractor here, cable retractor, and I got this on Amazon as well. And basically what happens is, so if I want to stake down, I'll just unput that and it just drives the stake down into the ground. And the weight of the pole plus gravity pulls it down and it drops it in there, and it even with it being so light, it holds me pretty well.
That's cool.
Actually amazingly well.
That's cool, man. And I see it's not the only anchor system you've got. I also see you got the Anchor Wizard. This is a new low profile Anchor Wizard. You got it mounted right to your landing gear.
Yep.
That's cool.
Always trying to find a spot for the Anchor Wizard is always kind of a big question. Do I mount it on my tracks? Do I mount it on back here? You want it somewhere that's easily accessible and where the cable runs or the rope runs free. And having the boondocks here, and that's one thing about the boondocks, is it has these extra slots up here that you can mount stuff to. And I mounted my Anchor Wizard to it, and amazingly it works really, really well. So I use, instead of a traditional chain anchor, I use a chain. And people ask me why, and then because one, it's relatively inexpensive, and two, it works well. This weighs in about 2.5 pounds, and I believe it's about it's like 2 feet long, maybe a little over that. And I use it as a drag train, and it actually works well as an anchor as well. It keeps me in place. So I don't know if you guys use the Anchor Wizard, but basically with the Anchor Wizard, what's nice is you just do it one reverse turn and it free drops. And then you crank it back up, pulls the chain back up, and then I just grab the chain and flip it back into my boat.
That's nice, man. And I like the fact you have it set up on the trolley, so if you want to go from the front to the back, you can just
so
put it
you
up there.
basically down, and you can still run it all the way to the back and all the way to the front, just depending on what. But no, it works well. It's definitely
some smart rigging for sure, Mel.
Yeah.
They don't call this guy the Wizard for nothing. I see you got the donkey leash hanging down.
Of course, got to have the Calco's donkey leash in there.
That has been a hot thing for kayak fishing tournament guys, so you can keep your fish fresh while you're measuring and getting your gear sorted out. You just hook that around their lips, drop it overboard.
Right.
You guys saw it in the last videos, so pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet.
Boondocks, landing gear, and you got these with the C-Tug wheels, and what? You got it more carbon?
I got more carbon on there, yeah. Yeah, too.
Gosh.
This kayak is light enough to run a lighter bar in the middle, and haven't had any issues with it. I actually ran this on my Pursuit for a while too, and it worked well. And I chose to put the C-Tug wheels, one because I had them, two because they're lighter, and they look
and three because they match your boat. Let's be honest, right?
They got the green, yeah. you got me on that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, even the hardware he's got on the seat, it's all matching blue. Romel is, he's always about this look and fly and looking stylish.
Hey, if I can't fish well, I better look well look good on the water, right?
I love this, man. Every little spot has a little hidden something.
Yep.
Look at that.
So basically, my pliers, I have that under sheath underneath my my seat there, and that basically I just ran that through one of the chair straps. Cool. And it just gives me a good place to keep it, and I know where it is at all times, and just.
And this you guys may have seen before on his Pursuit, but this is a custom tackle storage situation that he made.
Right. So this is basically under storage. I use this on my Pursuit, and I wanted to try it on the Flint, and it works well. So basically, it just gives me a spot that I can drop a 3600 Plano box without having it float around the kayak. Locks it in there pretty well, and it's angled up, so I'm not banging my knuckles on it when I try to pull it out. That's why I have it angled up at that angle, so I can pull it out easy and put it in easy.
That's cool. Custom thermarest. I mean, that looks looks similar to what we saw in the Jacksons.
Right. It is the same one. This is actually from Amazon. But the one with the Jackson came with a strap that went around, and this one does not. So what I did was I borrowed some craft hardware from my daughter. So these little things called cam snaps, and they're basically just plastic buttons that you get. It comes with a tool and everything, and I just snap that in there, and it keeps my thermarest from going anywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, last man, we're getting a little long-winded, but let's check out your, I don't know, it reminds me of my junk drawer at the house.
So
your
this
tackle
is
storage solution here.
Right, so this is basically a pursuit drawer, and this drawer is coming out for the Flint soon, but I missed it when I went out with the kayak first. The first time I didn't have it, and I missed my junk drawer. Everybody's got to have a junk drawer. So basically, this is where I store usually my soft plastics, but I'll throw my lures that I cut off. Basically, throw a bunch of everything in here. This is just, you know, whatever. But it just gives me a place to store stuff. And then on top of that, I wanted to be able to slap a 3700 somewhere, and that's where. So I did it just a couple of bungees tied to some eyelets with some knots, and I put a 3700 down there and just strap it down. Of course, you got to have your phone holder. You got your Ram X grip there.
A lot of you guys ask how I film these videos, and that's exactly pretty much what I do. X grip and Boondocks landing gear is my handle.
Yep. And you got your C-Deck kit, of course. I'm a big fan of C-Deck. I love their products. Makes the kayak look that much cooler, and also actually adds some comfort to it. It's nice and soft. People ask me, why do you get black? Doesn't it get hot? I'm like, that's why we're on water. So throw some water on it, dip my feet in the water, and it's actually quite nice to have this on there. It's really comfortable. That's for sure.
So I also like this too. It's a paddle clip inside the handle. That's kind of a unique thing. But yeah, Romel, I really appreciate you showing us this rig. Do you have any custom plans for the future? Any more mods that you might do?
The Pro Ped's coming out. So once the Pro Ped comes out, which is the pedal drive, that's gonna kind of change all this. But I'll probably end up doing a fish finder somewhere around here, and knowing me, it'll have a hood on it and it'll look like a jet fighter. But that's probably coming in the works. But other than that, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. I mean,
you like it simple.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Anyways, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you at the shop, man. Thanks so much for taking the time to come by and show us your rigs, and always just being a source of information. If you guys wonder where I get a lot of my rigging information, it's this guy. Knows his stuff and is always happy to share it. So we really appreciate it, Romel. So as always, you guys, thanks so much for watching the channel. We hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Either Romel or I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep these videos coming. Until next time, this is Dan, wishing you guys happy paddling.